Missouri, Representative Phil Cristofanelli criticizes fellow GOP Representative Ann Kelly's anti-LGBT school bill. So she wrote this bill that basically says you cannot mention in any way anybody's sexuality. So if a gay person is married to another gay person, you can't mention the marriage, period. But that same rule should also apply, if they're being even-handed, to straight couples. So if you can't mention anybody's sexual orientation in any way, then you also shouldn't be able to mention somebody married to somebody in a straight relationship. Unless you admit that it's only supposed to apply to gay people, which they can't do because it's against the law. So there's a conundrum. Suddenly, because of this bill, you can't mention a spouse of a famous person, period, in a history class without running afoul of the law. So this guy's a conservative. And even he is calling out this other woman who is a conservative who wrote this bill. And here's her ridiculous, beyond parody response.
I'm just going to read you the language in your bill. No classroom instruction by school personnel or third parties relating to sexual orientation or gender identity shall occur. Lady, you mentioned George Washington. Who is Martha Washington?
His wife.
Under your bill, how could you mention that in a classroom?
So to me, that's not sexual orientation.
Really? So it's only really certain sexual orientations that you want prohibited from introduction in the classroom.
Do you have language to make that better, to make it where you're not talking?
Lady, I didn't introduce your bill.
Okay.
And I didn't write it. You wrote it, and so I'm asking what it means. Which sexual orientations do you believe should be prohibited from Missouri classrooms?
We all have a moral compass. And my moral compass is compared with the Bible.
Lady, I believe during your testimony, you said that you didn't want teachers' personal beliefs entering the classroom, but it seemed a lot like your personal belief. You would like to enter all Missouri classrooms.
You can believe something without putting that onto somebody by the way you behave. And you can have beliefs and morals and values that guide you through life.
I don't dispute that, but I'm asking about the language of your bill and how it would permit the mention of the historical figure Martha Washington. Could you explain that to me?
So why is she famous? Is she famous because she's married to George Washington?
It seems like that would be a relevant fact in her biography, yes. Could it be mentioned under the plain reading language of your bill? Is that a no?
I don't know, sir.
I don't know. Yeah, well, should you know before you pass a bill like that? Oh, of course not. Who gives a shit? Can literally see her brain freeze. Does not compute. Don't know what to say. Just good God. Conservatives, I would say they're not sending their best, but this is probably the best they got. Not amazing. Not amazing, conservatives. True.